All right. All right. We're live.
Do we have intro music?
I think Alex has got something queued up.
Doing it. Got it. This would be the perfect, raccoon killing music.
Yeah.
Like, the raccoon's creeping around the yard. You're hiding in the bushes.
Like Elmer Fudd. Hunting wascally raccoons.
But then at some point it takes a dark turn.
Yeah. Not so much a dark turn, but like, I would say this is like the wrapping up of the death rodeo would be that where the music it goes to, hot lead injection. And then as the music like slows down, he's like in the end of his death spasms, which by the way it doesn't seem to get any easier to put him down. It always sucks. I always know it's gonna suck. But like raccoons are just crazy. Like I caught rats over at a house in Shaker, and like both times I had to catch them in glue boards, and both times I was like sleeping on the couch like a room away. And it sounded like, I'm not even kidding you, like there was two grown men in a scuffle in the kitchen.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Don't they bite their legs off and shit when they...
I don't know about that, but I know that they were coming up through a drain pipe in the basement that I was able to, they had, over the years, the concrete or whatever degraded, so I chipped out around it and then re-cemented it in. And caught the one that was going up and coming back down, because apparently up to 75 feet from their nest is where they forage to, and then they go back to the nest. Well, the drain pipe was like 25 feet from the storm drain, so catching them in the glue board, they get their tails stuck, and then their back feet get stuck, so like they'll still get around, but like they'll get to the drain pipe, and since the glue board doesn't fit, they'll like pull off the glue board by going down the pipe, if that makes sense. So I had to kill both of them with like bricks. Like, I'm not even kidding you, like I had it, okay, I'm probably not gonna catch either one of these motherfuckers that's running around, like it's just not gonna happen. So I didn't like plan past catching it in a glue board and having a rat, a fully grown rat. Like, dude, I'm telling you, when it was from nose to ass was like that big, was like maybe 9-10 inches, like nose to ass, and if you're counting the tail, it's over a foot long, like giant fucking animals compared to mice. I've caught mice before, they just squeak.
There used to be one in I lived in the basement where I was working in Ohio City, and I used to send all the new people down to the basement to like organize the inventory. Be like, oh, we just got an order in, just take it straight down the stairs, like you'll see where everything goes. It's pretty self-explanatory. I wouldn't go down there with them, and I also wouldn't tell them that there was a huge ass fucking rat that lived down there, and they'd always like come screaming up the stairs. Like, these things are fucking nasty.
So the first time I caught the rat, what's the deal with all these rats? I caught the first one, and I had to like run. I like went into the kitchen, and then I was like, all right, cool. So now I got this rat, and it's like, dude, it's moving. Like, it's going around the kitchen. Like, it's not really that impeded by this glue trap on its ass and tail and shit. And I'm like looking for like a pot. Like, I'm not gonna put this nasty ass rat in a pot that would be cooked in. So I go down the basement and I grab a 5-gallon bucket and like a piece of 1/4-inch pipe that was about 3 feet long, and I had to like scoot this rat into this bucket, and then it was jumping almost out of the bucket with its back end stuck to the glue trap.
Dude, rats are fucking...
They're ridiculous, and the crazy part is most rats, like if you were to catch them and test them, they would be like terminally ill. Like they're super sick. Like the entire species is just riddled with terminal illness, which is even more crazy. So I get the thing in the bucket, and then I have to like flip it over with the pole, with the pipe that I had in my hand, and like push the glue trap down on it so it would at least stop jumping so high. Because like it was almost clearing a 5-gallon bucket. It was fucking blew my mind. So then I had to, I threw a brick in on it, and it didn't quite kill it. So I grabbed another brick, and I like spiked it in there, and that still didn't do it. So then I had to pull the 2 bricks out, and then re-stick the rat to the trap, and then like Gronkowski spike it, and that did it. The second one went easier because I knew how to do it, and I just stacked the bricks up and then put my foot on the top brick and stepped, and that kind of did it.
Dude, I have this vivid memory of like when I was a child, my grandfather like had one of those like ride-on lawnmowers, and I remember riding on the back of this lawnmower with him, and he has this fucking BB gun with him, so he's mowing the lawn and like watching for like rabbits and shit to run out of the grass, because he had like this huge ass vegetable garden in the back.
Fucking Mr. McGregor.
And I'm just fucking like riding the back of the ride-on mower. He stops and he shoots this fucking rabbit, and it doesn't die all the way. And like I walk up with him, and he's like, it's like twitching and everything, and then I just remember my grandpa just stepping on it with his foot and just like hearing the rabbit's skull like crack. Like
rabbits are pretty dramatic. Like you can shoot a rabbit with a pellet rifle. Like there's the 22 caliber pellet rifle that I use for the raccoons because it's the only thing that will create enough damage to get through a raccoon skull. They're phenomenally tough animals. So there's another one. It's like 177. The 177 is a smaller load, but you can get rabbits with it because their skulls are so not hardcore at all. But sometimes what that is you'll hit them, and like Janina was there for one of them. It's always funny because Janina like gets really sick to her stomach and gags. So like the one time we were walking up. At the time, Russell's dad owned a house across the street. We were walking up the driveway, and I was like, look, there's one right underneath that tree. And there was one, like, right underneath the tree. So I made a noise I squeaked my lips, and then I was like, bam, and I shot it. And I shot it dead center in its head. Well, what that did was that got rid of its ability to use its front legs at all and, like, keep its head off the ground. But its back legs were, like, going strong. So it looked like a ship without a rudder. It was crazy. Ginny was like, oh my god, what's it doing?
Nice.
Sounds like me when Alex rips ass in bed.
Dutch oven? Nice.
Oh, God. I've almost... Your ass is terrible, man.
You know...
It's hilarious when my son farts in his sleep. Makes me laugh really hard.
Farts and shit. Oh, so when I was listening to you guys last week, when I was stuck in bed, the sound quality of audio that you play on that computer does not come up too well.
I wonder if it was loud enough, because I don't know if I had the volume.
It wasn't up super loud, but that's alright.
You know.
And then when it was up too loud, you guys would talk, and then I couldn't hear what you guys were saying.
Yeah, that's the only problem. That's the only thing I don't like about this condenser mic is it does pick up everything, but if, like at the beginning when we started, that might cut over. Because it's sucking up everything, so whatever's loudest is going to cut through.
To figure something out.
It's a Bill Cosby commercial from the 70s.
I'm actually on vacation, especially with the teeth I've been working with here. Mainly because some wise guy has been brushing after every meal. And I think the thing that hurts me the most is the fact that he's using Crest. Yeah. See, Crest has fluoride. See, makes
Fluoride.
it hard. The enamel. You can't get it. You hit.
I heard a lot of funny things about fluoride being in water, being in toothpaste.
I'm gonna tear into it.
Right after the meal. Gonna get another little bath. Fighting cavities is the whole idea behind Crest.
Bill Cosby. What a rapist.
What a piece of shit. You know, you can imagine, like, in the 80s, you know, he was pretending to be this, like, very righteous man, you know, like...
Yeah, he would
I'm a role model, you know.
Yeah.
And he was telling Eddie Murphy, it's like, you gotta clean up your act. You can't say this.
You gotta stop cussing.
You can't say that. And...
Well, it's Richard Pryor had a good response, and he's like... Eddie was like, Bill Cosby told me I had to clean up my act. And Richard Pryor was like, is he signing your checks? And he's like, no. He goes, well, then fuck him. You know, like...
Bill Cosby, man. He was so wholesome, you know? Like, he was...
But that's the thing is, like, the stories were always there. From what everyone says is, like, that's what the story was that was around the comedy scene was, hey, watch out for Bill Cosby because he'll drug you and rape you. And it's like the Harvey Weinstein jokes and the, how about Seth MacFarlane being a goddamn genius for calling out Kevin Spacey? He called every single one of them. They called Kris Jenner being gay, being trans.
Trans is not gay.
Whatever.
Come on.
Being into guys, whether he's a guy or a girl, whatever.
Is
they
he
called
into
the whole...
guys? Or is he just...
I don't know.
Is he cis transgender?
Do you even know what that
No,
means?
I don't even know what it
You're
means.
just like
I'm just
pulling
talking
shit up.
I'm sorry.
I just know that there are pronouns involved, and that's just too much English for me. So that's where I gracefully bow out. Whatever Bruce Jenner is, Family Guy predicted it. They predicted Kevin Spacey. They predicted Harvey Weinstein. Like they.
He knew some shit.
Yeah, that's how he was able to call it out, and everyone was like, ha ha ha. But, you know, like, nervously laughing, some of them. But, I mean, guys like Kevin Spacey's always going to have his money.
He's not going to get work again.
He's not going to get work again, but does he need it? No. Will he wind up killing himself?
I mean, it's like...
I see him moving to Thailand.
Exactly. It's like he's going to have to move somewhere because he's going to be socially isolated. And, you know, nobody's really going to want to hang out with him.
His desire to be fucking grabbing dicks and blowing dudes and banging dudes isn't going to go away either.
There's,
so.
you know, places in
like
the world for fellas like that.
And then the same thing with Harvey Weinstein. Like,
I don't know, man.
Yeah, he can't be in movies anymore, but what are you really doing to him? He's still going to be able to get fucking whatever the fuck he wants. Whatever he wants, he's going to be able to get it. How much money does he have?
I mean, his company's going bankrupt.
Yeah, but he quit after being, the CEO?
I mean, he's loaded for the rest of his life.
Fuck. For the rest of his life, twice.
But who's going to be his friend? Like, what's he going to do? He could, you know...
There's, dude, the pilot fish are plentiful.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like, some douchebag's just going to be like, oh, yeah, I'll be your friend, Harvey. And then he'll justify it by being like, he's fucking going to give me a ton of money or whatever. You know what I mean? Just guys like that, I don't know. Like Bill Cosby, do you think he really gives a fuck about his legacy? Fuck no. He got up on stage like a week after his mistrial or whatever it was. You know, they're going to retry him.
His daughter died a few days ago.
Did she?
She's like 40. I don't know.
Of what? Overdose?
Maybe.
You're going to have to check that.
Maybe, Cosby. Daughter. Dies at 44. Renal disease.
Renal disease? What's renal disease? Renal disease.
Kidney disease. Unable to remove waste.
Oh, that sucks. There are people, I forget how much of the population is affected by it, but there's an inability to remove copper from the bloodstream or some fucking metal from the bloodstream or from the brain, so it just like builds up and they wind up dying from metal poisoning, some shit. And how they were like the first patients that were allowed to smoke weed as a get like government weed.
It's decent.
But those are unsubstantiated fucking urban legends that even if Snopes said they were true or weren't true, I wouldn't be apt to believe it either way. Which I have to say is, on Facebook, my favorite thing is like trolling people. Like there was a great troll picture of Obama's face photoshopped on one of the Black Panthers' faces. In one of the pictures where they're like in the full getup and the dude's holding a gun, but you can clearly see like the arms are more muscular than Obama and they're way darker than Obama's skin color. So like you could tell it was a Photoshop, and the caption read, "Here, quick, repost this because I don't think it's going to be up too long. This is 1991 or whatever, 10 years before he became the president in full uniform of the Black Panthers holding a gun." And people actually believed that I believed that was true, and they like posted, "Nope," and then they would have the link to like Snopes. Like, I actually, like a couple comments down, I was like, "You guys realize that I'm trolling at this point, right?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, we were just laughing at the assholes that thought you thought that was not a Photoshop."
Yeah, I don't know. The internet's a funny place. Social media and fake news and, you know.
It's fake news, Russian bots.
Well,
look, whether it was or wasn't, it makes no difference because voting in this country is vastly overrated. It really makes very little difference, in my opinion, on what the outcome is going to be.
Have you heard of the movie The Road?
The Road.
It's that thing. So it's like dashboard cams in Russia, and it's like a documentary of just like all this like crazy fucking footage from these cameras in cars, and I don't know, you should watch the trailer too. It's just like a bunch of shit like catching on fire, and then like people on crocodile climbing on top of cars. It's just like rapid fire, just like
that's where it's
retarded videos. It looks really good.
People like injecting.
I hear crocodile's good for you.
Dude, like you get sores, and then you can see your bone and your tendons. And
it turns your skin gets like fucking flaky and scaly. And
dude,
then it
no, I
falls
heard
off.
it's a really good high though. Like I used to be a fucking heroin addict, and
I heard that's what people use. People in like super cold areas in Russia can't get a hold of heroin, so they
This is like antifreeze and something.
I would fucking try it.
That's what Fireball is. Fucking antifreeze. It's like, isn't it banned in the UK?
Fireball?
Yeah.
Not like the
drink.
The liquor?
The liquor.
Like, really?
Poison.
It doesn't have antifreeze.
Snopes
it tastes like fucking...
you gotta Snopes it.
Cinnamon.
That's... It tastes like cinnamon, like Fireballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's poisonous. No, it's not. It's good if you're trying to choke down a fucking Reds or an Angry Orchard, which are both disgusting.
Easy it is. There's no mess, no fuss. Looky here. Just pour a packet of Dudley's new dye mix into one of them shaker bags, dunk a hard-boiled egg in water, pop it in the bag, and shake. Dudley's new formula dyes and dries quick as a wink.
Is that for an egg dyeing kit?
Gorgeous Easter eggs.
It is.
Colors jump right out at you. New Shake and Egg comes with 5 packs of dyes, shaker bags, egg holders, hand puppets, a stand-up for a centerpiece, and this year you also get the new Dudley Shake.
This is the part where we'd be doing live reads. If anybody's wondering.
And hop to it, Mom. Get Dudley's brand new
Dude, this fucking rabbit.
Does he have a mouth on his forehead?
So this
So
is
if Fireball's fucking poison, what was Four Loko then?
it was making. I'm convinced that Four Loko was inadvertently mistook as being a girl being slipped date rape drugs in some cases, because it's not that girls can't handle their liquor or that date raping is charming or whatever, or
Date raping is
condonable.
charming.
Yeah, or condoning date rape.
I don't condone date rape.
Correct. There we go. That's the words I'm looking for. Without condoning date rape, Four Locos would get you so fucked up, and you would drink. It was so little of it to get that fucked up that girls would be getting blackout wasted and remember nothing of what they did. But like girls at Kent would like wake up and be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I just let this entire frat fucking run a train on me."
Dude, at
I
14
must have been
years
date
old,
raped.
like, my body was probably like 85% Four Loko, like, all the time.
As heavy stuff, that's like Steel
I don't
Reserve.
recall ever drinking Four Loko. I think I was too good for Four Loko.
That caffeine in there, though, is, like, stronger than
That's
a
what I'm
fucking
saying.
Red Bull. Like, I was up.
That's
like
what I'm saying.
days
It's like
on
when
that
you
shit.
Jesus.
have you ever drank vast amounts of alcohol and done cocaine? Me neither, because that's illegal. But
Yeah, I never did that. But if I did, I'd
from
imagine
stories, yeah, like you
people
know,
have known.
the big if in the front. If I did it, I hear you can get really fucked up to the point where you black out. But you're still awake and doing things, and you don't really remember, and it probably comes back in like snippets, like, you know, oh, there's a snapshot. I kind of remember some people with clothes and some without, or whatever. You know, like just kind of snippets, and you're trying to piece it back together.
That's just a normal night for me. A
Uh,
couple years ago.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
but the thing is, you drink a Four Loko, and how much alcohol is it? How much caffeine is it? And these girls have never fucking had that before. You know, they're like, woo, party, Four
It's
Loko
like
gets you
Mike's
fucked
Hard
up.
Lemonade. You know, these are people that should be drinking Mike's Hard Lemonade, but they're like, oh, let me drink this.
Yeah.
It's fruity. It's tasty. You know, but
Yeah. It gets me more buzzed than Mike's Hard Lemonade, and I don't get the diarrhea, or at least
Dude,
I'm
the
not
Mike's
conscious
Harder
for that part.
lemonade. I used to.
Mike's Harder
The Mike's
lemonade?
Harder, so it's like Mike's hard, but harder.
Ooh.
And the guys that I work with, I was washing dishes at the time. They'd call me up, because they get in. It was a breakfast joint. They get in there like 5 a.m. They call me like, "Can you pick up some Mike's Harders for us? We'll have a good day today." And we'd fucking just like chug those at 9 a.m. Dude,
That's what we would.
that's like half a Four Loko. The Mike's Harder, if you want to know.
We would. I drank one Mike's Hard Lemonade in my entire life, and the amount of sugar in it, like, yeah, it tasted okay, but the amount of sugar in it got me so sick, so fast. I never had the desire to even taste one.
Was it Jaeger bombs with Red Bull?
Yes.
Was it like Jaeger and Red Bull?
Yeah.
I had a night of drinking with those, and man,
Who did not?
that was.
Terrible.
I chose not to drive that night. Thankfully, there was a cop like
Me
camped
too.
out like across the street. I knew he was just waiting for us because we were the last people at the bar. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh man.
Maybe I should call a cab.
Yeah.
How about Uber doing more work to end drunk driving than anything else? That's probably saved so many fucking lives.
That is a good point.
Like, I mean, Uber, Lyft, you know, you're waiting for a cab. They're like, yeah, okay, yeah, it could be 10 minutes, it could be an hour. So,
Cabs don't give a shit.
yeah, so we'll call somebody, but don't hold your breath. If you had somewhere to be in a certain amount of time, I hope it's like a 4-hour window, because we have no idea what's going on.
Uber, you know, good things come out of the free market. Uber is one of them.
Yeah, good things do come out of the free market. That's for fucking sure. The other thing is
Comrade?
some Stalin granite. I sent that picture of Stalin in the shower to you, right? Did you show her?
No.
It's a fucking Stalin mural in a shower, like, you know, the wall in the shower is just like a picture of the glorious leader of fucking the USSR, and it's a real apartment in Russia. But I sent it to my brother, and he's like, "I don't get it," and I was like, "That's all right. It's above your pay grade." And he's like, "Yep, not ashamed to admit it."
Who's Stalin?
Are you looking up? Should get a fucking group thread going.
Yeah.
I see,
I'll just add you in.
0.5% of the things you send.
So apparently, the FBI dropped the ball once again, proving their worth.
The shooter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I mean, how fucking stupid. I mean, they visited him, right, or something? Like,
I don't know
if they had a tip.
I don't know about all the details of what the FBI did or was doing with that kid in Florida. But I do know that there's somebody in Florida, or somebody on the internet posted on a YouTube video that he wanted to be a professional school shooter, and the guy screen capped it. And it was this kid's name, Nicholas Cruz,
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
so
there couldn't have been any more red flags.
that's like the FBI going, "Oh yeah, we got that, but dude, there's like 57 Nicholas Cruzes, so you know we didn't really check on it because that's a lot of guys. I don't know if you knew that, but you know if you look through the whole world, like 57 guys could be a lot of different places. It's like if me and you were like, if the three of us were like, oh my God, let's go see if we can find this guy. And it's like, oh, there's no location. Like, we don't have his IP address.
Like, it's not that hard.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, it's...
Especially with the tools they have at their disposal. And
the FBI acted with as much incentive as we would act. Like, if where somebody was like, hey, can you find this guy? And there was, like, no money in it for us. You know, like, sure. I'll find him on Facebook. Or, you know, 57 names like his on Facebook. But I guess there was another... There were multiple times that the sheriff's department was there, the police department was at his house.
Wasn't there a sheriff deputy outside the school
that did
while
not go in?
While it was getting shot up?
Yeah.
He didn't go in? What a fucking spineless piece of shit.
He did say that he thought the shooter was outside and that nobody knew where the shooter was, so that's why he stayed outside, because he thought the shooter was outside. I mean, if there's echoes going off through the building, I don't know the acoustics of the outside. That's reasonable to believe that. And if he's saying that he thought they were inside, or if he thought they were outside, and then he radios that to everyone else, then the other 4 deputies are just guilty by osmosis, or whatever the fuck you would call
these
it.
People are fucking retards.
I mean, bad intel will get more people killed than fucking good shooters, I guess. But, yeah, to not go inside was kind of silly. I would go inside, because...
I mean, Trump would have gone inside, unarmed.
Would have ran in there, said, hey, you fired.
You know? He's our man.
I just, at what point do you shave your head? You know what I mean?
Yeah, his fucking hair. I don't know.
I can't.
He could afford better.
Pizza Hut kept its great offer. A Care Bear
some more live reads.
Look, Mom, dear. Kids love them. They're full of stickers and pages to color.
Oh, this reminds me of the old school commercials. There was, when I was in Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts. This isn't like I was touched. This is not my hashtag me tooing. But it is funny. It's a reflection on what the culture was like when I was a kid versus now. Even though I'm only 34 and considered a kid by a lot of people, still a kid by a lot of people, including my grandfather who's still alive. But so every month there would be, I forget what the fuck it was called, but it was like all the different Cub Scout dens would get together with the other Cub Scout dens and the Boy Scouts or whatever, and the leaders, and we would have everybody would talk about this or talk about that, and then they would be, it was like a church meeting, I guess.
Yeah.
You'd call it at night, and
in a Cub Master's basement. And
no, not the Cub Master's basement. That was once a week. So there would be like they would put up like they would do like skits. It was like a Saturday Night Live, but with Boy Scouts. I guess you'd call it a night of skits. Yeah. So I wish I could remember what the fuck it was called. But they would do different skits. So one of the skits was, okay, we're going to need 4 people from the crowd, 4 volunteers to hold these sheets up. And they would hold the sheets. One guy would hold a sheet on one side and the other side, so it would be straight up. And they would be holding their arms straight up so that it was like a backdrop. And then the other 2 adults would hold the sheets so that it looked like a candy counter, like a store counter. And they'd be like, oh, hey, can I get a Butterfinger? Sorry, we're sold out. Can we get a sucker? Or no, or can I get a payday? No, we're sold out. Can I get M&Ms? We're sold out. So this goes on through like 8 more, and then he goes, well, what do you have? Just the 4 suckers holding the sheets.
Oh.
Right? So there was one where the scene was like, I forget how they articulated it, how they painted the picture in the minds, but it was an Old West setting, right? I think the guy had like chaps and a cowboy hat on and was walking like a cowboy, whatever, tied up his horse. And then there's a Native American dressed guy that was just running in a circle. So then he walks into the bar and he goes, I'll take a sarsaparilla. And he drinks a sarsaparilla and he's like, oh, this is the best sarsaparilla I've had in a while. And another guy comes in to the scene and he goes, hey, did you just get in here? And he's like, yeah. He goes, your engine's still running. And it struck me the other day how ridiculously fucking racist and offensive that is to refer to a Native American as an engine. And it was like, you know what I mean? Like, I would never, because, I don't know, I've just never...
Engine Joe?
Yeah, I've never been...
Was that Mark Twain?
Yeah, Mark Twain, but he also had...
was it like the Indian in the cupboard? No, Engine Joe.
Engine Joe was Tom Sawyer.
Yeah.
Nigger Jim was Huck Finn. That's who that was. That's the 2 stories that are different. And they even had that, I forget who said to take that word out of... Mark Twain said that it would be discussed like forever. That was the legacy of Mark Twain, was that Nigger Jim was in Huck Finn. And that would always cause problems anytime, like, he was happy to have caused that much strife, and he knew it was going to continue to cause strife forever. And it would always be controversial, which was kind of funny, because Mark Twain's kind of a dick, if you think. He's like,
hilarious,
he's a troll. Like, he just did it for his own entertainment.
He's great.
But, yeah, I forget what movie it was, but it was a Navy movie about the American Navy. Like, I want to say it came out probably, if not during World War II, right after World War II, the post-World War II, the afterglow, when America really came out on top of everyone. But it was about the Navy, and there were two or 3 officers in an office talking, and one of them said, oh yeah, I'm going to take whoever out on a date to the beach. And then they all laugh, and then it cuts to the scene on the beach where this guy is molesting this woman as she's physically trying to fight him off. And, like, they make a big point of this one scene where it's a close-up of his face where she scratches his face. Like, he's got 4 scratches on his cheek. And, like, I guess it's, like, cuts to, like, 2 days later. And he's in the office like, hey, Bob, I see you got laid again. And they all laugh about it. Like, I guess Bob's a fucking rapist. And not only is that accepted, but it's something we're all going to joke about.
I mean, you know, rape was okay back then.
I guess so. It was, blatant racism, like, watching Mississippi Burning like it was a biopic. You know what I mean? Like, this is exactly, but it did happen that way. You know, obviously not that way in the movie, but shit did roll down that way. Like J. Edgar.
I didn't see Mississippi Burning.
No? It was okay. I mean, it kind of covered... It covered the civil rights, the freedom riders in Mississippi. I forget the years, but it was obviously during the struggle for racial equality and civil rights and shit. But these 3 students got killed, or these 3 students went to Mississippi, got pulled over for speeding or some shit, got released, and then disappeared. And then, due to informants, they were found buried in a dam with a bunch of other people and parts and whatnot. Because this whole sheriff's department was in on a bunch of racist shit.
This is an older movie?
Gene Hackman's in it, as well as a very young Willem Dafoe. Was Gene Hackman ever young?
Gene Hackman, what was that, The French Connection?
He was young. Yeah. He's kind of young, but he was still old.
Yeah.
What was the movie where he was the POW in Vietnam? You remember that one? Or he was out in the jungle. Was it Bat 2-1?
I haven't seen that. I love Gene Hackman.
It made me appreciate Behind Enemy Lines even more. Was that Behind Enemy Lines where they were covering the Kosovo Bosnian thing? Owen Wilson. And then the typical bad guy Eastern Bloc gentleman.
Yeah.
I think it was Slobodan Milosevic. Not Slobodan Pokrajic.
Owen Wilson was in an action movie?
Yeah. He was shot down. They were in a jet that was flying a UN peacekeeping mission in I think it might have been Serbia or Bosnia. Fuck, I can't remember. But that conflict over there I want to say the Balkans area, maybe. I don't know. I might be way off. But they were supposed to fly a certain pattern over a certain area. Instead, they flew over a restricted area and took pictures, reconnaissance.
Mm-hmm.
And it wound up showing, they wound up getting shot down because the pictures they took showed the mass graves of the, fuck, I can't remember the name of that guy. Showed the mass graves of the genocide they were perpetrating on whatever the local populace was at the time. But
Bat 21.
Is that the name of it? Bat 21. It's a pretty good flick. He's stuck out in the jungle in Vietnam or Laos, Cambodia, one of those fucking spots over there. Former Indochina. Or former French Indochina, that's what it was. Because France was there before we got involved. Like, I think it was 50 years prior. Do you know about that? Have you ever seen Apocalypse Now?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the deleted scene? The French plantation deleted scene? That was pretty good. Yeah. I like how it addressed the whole thing. It was a great flick.
It's classic.
I guess, did Coppola direct that one? Or was it Kubrick?
I feel like a retard.
I'm absolutely, that Carmino's fucking killed me, man. Killed my train of thought, but...
I think it's Coppola.
If it was Coppola, he had He had to put a padlock and
that's
chain. He had to padlock and chain the food in a trailer to keep Marlon Brando from being ridiculously over. I guess he showed up like 40 pounds overweight for the role of Colonel Kurtz.
He had a problem. I don't know, man.
I guess it came out he liked dick.
He fucked Richard Pryor.
Yeah, I heard that. Fucking sliding it in.
Which, I mean, you know, I saw earlier Richard Pryor saying, I mean, he talked about fucking dudes and sucking dick. But I think people just assumed he was joking.
Yeah, because he was a fucking comedian. But look, dude, he smoked crack. Their chances are that he fucking...
Yeah, you smoke crack, your chances of sucking dick are
like... They call it smoking the glass dick for a reason. It's not too far off for you to suck the dick for some crack, I guess.
The amount of crack you smoke to the dick you suck is it's like a ratio. There's a golden ratio.
How did he fucking catch himself on fire, though?
He's caught his hair on fire. Like he was
Did he?
Yeah, I thought he caught his hair on fire.
I thought he fucking, like, took a hit of something and went to go blow a match out, and it fucking blew up or some shit. That's how he caught his hair on fire.
One time I was smoking a bowl and I caught my eyelashes on fire.
I mean, who hasn't done that, though?
And I didn't have eyelashes on. It's pretty easy to catch things on fire when you're doing drugs.
It was always funny to do that. You get your buddy's beard on fire or mustache in high school. You go to light their cigarette and you go, oh, sorry. And fucking it would be all curly and white. Fucking dick. That's all I can smell, man. That's all I can smell for like a week was fucking burnt hair. It's not going to grow back right. Took me fucking 5 years to grow it like that.
Jerry Reed was in Bad 21.
Jerry Reed? Wasn't Danny Glover? Danny Glover was the pilot. But that made me...
This is in 1988, though. I mean, these guys are a little older by then.
Yeah, but they still aren't young. I think Gene Hackman was young in that movie.
This is 1988.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he was making a movie in the late 60s, early 70s, you know? Like, he was probably...
He was.
Did you see The Conversation?
No.
He played, like, he played this guy that would bug people, you know, and he would record conversations that people would pay him for. He'd do it for, like, you know...
Oh, I thought you meant, like, bug shit. People, like, bother him.
No.
Like, bait him into fucking yelling at him or some shit.
No, like, he
would play on mics.
Yeah. This is, like... It's really good.
There was another good movie that he was in called, I think it was called The Heartbreakers with Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I forget who the fucking broad, the motherly broad was in that movie, but it was terrible. Ray Liotta was in it. Gene Hackman was in it. Who else was in it? I can't remember.
Maybe they think I'm worth it. A PVD legendary quality speaks for itself.
PVD.
Looks like a really
It's another live read spot. You can get your shave on with Dollar Shave Club. Blah, blah. What was it? I was going to say something else. Oh, I was watching Caddyshack.
We just watched that last night.
That is probably, like, when he pills out, I think this will call for the old Billy Baroo. I fucking laugh so hard every time. Oh, Billy, Billy, Billy. Oh, Billy, 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 Billy. It makes me laugh so fucking hard every time he does that. Because he's such an asshole with it.
He plays such a good asshole.
Yeah. Oh, oh.
Billy Baroo.
Yeah, I'm no slouch. Oh, don't sell yourself short, Judge. You're a tremendous slouch.
What the hell is a Billy Baroo?
I have no idea. I have no idea where it came in.
Like,
I thought about changing the name of the podcast to Robin Redpins.
Billy Baru Putter.
Billy. Oh, Billy. What do you say, Al? Is that the clip?
It's coming up.
Turn it up. Just the Billy part. Oh, Billy.
I forgot about that when we were watching. I'm just like, oh, shit.
Spaulding, this calls for the old Billy Baru.
Spaulding.
Billy. Oh, Billy.
So good.
It's a biggie. Don't me down, Billy. $30,000.
The Judge Smales, like he was like one of like the premier actors. Like he was, super. There's like I guess a big breakdown on set. Like he was upset and yelling at Harold Ramis because Harold Ramis was the director, but he wasn't like keeping it super strict and professional. It was like everybody just got like fucked up like the whole movie. Caddyshack is how the caddies and the groundskeepers, like all the help, are just fucked up all the time, and that's what everybody did the entire time they shot.
True to form.
I mean, look at the scene where Bill Murray's talking to the kid, and he's got the actual pitchfork with the tines, like leaving red marks on the kid's skin. While he's talking to the kid, and the kid's like, he's playing a retarded guy, and he's got this fucking sharp instrument, like, he could kill me.
So I said, Mr. Llama,
Yeah.
what's in it for me?
He said, yo, llama! He said, Gunga Malunga, Gunga Gungalunga.
When I die,
Gungalunga.
I will achieve, what is it, absolute consciousness or
I have no idea what it was.
complete consciousness. I got that going for me.
I just like him taking out the flowers with the fucking thresher.
Oh,
Ladies and
Cinderella
gentlemen,
story.
Cinderella story. Or when he's washing the golf balls and he's talking shit about the old ladies. You're
Oh,
fucking disgusting or whatever. Dolores.
ooh, you're dirty.
But that's... Bill Murray was great at that. He was the Stripes? The goddamn RV that was the super war machine. Do you remember that part?
I don't remember seeing Stripes.
You should definitely watch Stripes. Stripes is one of the really good... People shit on me for it, but it was one of the really good films that they did that was fucking hilarious.
This
like-
is Harold Ramis, isn't it?
Yeah, Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, and Dan Aykroyd. I think Dan Aykroyd's in that one, in Stripes.
So Chevy
But,
Chase and him were enemies.
They got into a couple of dust-ups on the set of Caddyshack and SNL.
Yeah.
I guess that's why Chevy Chase wasn't part of SNL, which I hear he's a miserable cocksucker anyways.
Yeah, I mean, he was fucking funny. Like, he was really funny, but he didn't really,
Play well with others. He just rubbed
he
everyone
was
wrong.
funny, but he wasn't that funny. Like,
Yeah, he wasn't Conan O'Brien funny.
No.
I'd say he's funny like... I don't even want to say Kevin James funny, because Kevin James is hilarious, but I hear he's a giant asshole too, so maybe
mean
they are the
Paul
same
Blart?
kind of funny. Yeah.
That guy's funny? He seems like a total asshole. Like, I never thought he was funny.
Like, I can... So, from the stance of Daniel wants to watch a Zookeeper movie that's funny because Paul Blart falls down a lot, right? Kevin James does... He's a klutz in his movies because he's a big fat dummy. So, he wants to watch a big fat dummy fall around. I can do that. I can watch that. That's just like watching Family Vacation, the TV edited version with my son and laughing at all the funny stuff that happens. Obviously it can't be can you tell us how to get to the interstate? Hey man, fuck your mama. Like, it can't I can't have my son watch that, because then what if he goes to school and says that? Then I have to explain. I'm not so good at explaining.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah,
Not yet.
yeah. Eventually,
Gotta
yeah.
wait a little bit.
Well, that's why I can't wait for him to be old enough to watch Caddyshack or even What About Bob. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that in a while.
It's one of those classics that stands up the time, like The Big Lebowski, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which I was thinking, I don't remember why I was thinking, but I was thinking about that part in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas where Benicio del Toro's in the elevator with Johnny Depp and Cameron Diaz, and I think it's one other guy is the guy that was like their photographer that played, the actor that played Max Baer in Cinderella Man. He also played, I forget what his other roles were, but Benicio del Toro like pulls a knife out and he starts like waving it around in the elevator and like doing shit that's getting a reaction out of people, and then like the elevator stops and the doors open and there's like an old couple and they're standing there looking into the elevator and Benicio del Toro's like staring at him and he's got the knife in his hand and they just stand there and the doors close and the elevator continues. But it's just great moments. Like watching those movies instantly, like the thought of that movie brings me back to whatever point in life I was at when I first saw that movie, like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
You know, it's, or even 9/11, watching 9/11 happen.
Yeah.
You know, do you remember exactly where you were at when
I do, like 100%.
Where were you
That
at?
day. I was at home. My mom woke me up. She's like, turn on the TV. And I was like, what? She's just like, just turn on the TV. And I was like, oh, this is fucked up. You know, it was just like, I mean, you know, speechless. My brain was just like, what the hell is going on?
My initial thought, I was at school, and you had to turn the TV on for the morning announcements because the principal got up and ran her suck about some bullshit. And I remember turning the TV on, and the cleaning crews at night would watch, like, whatever local channel. It was Channel 3, I think. So I turned it on, it was Channel 3, and it showed the Twin Towers, and there was smoke coming from it because the first plane had hit. And I'm, like, watching, and I'm like, huh, this must be, like, some kind of, like, clip from a movie or something. And then I see the second plane go, bam, and, like, smash into it. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a great fucking movie. Fucking shit's crazy looking. And the teacher's like, hey, change the channel to the morning announcements. I'm like, I don't know, let me finish watching this, like, movie clip or whatever this shit is.
This is a new Die Hard.
Yeah, it's exactly what went through my mind. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I wonder who's going to play the bad guys. It's going to be Armand Asante again, you know? And she's like, change the channel now. And I was like, okay. So I changed it. The announcements came on, and then I changed it back after the announcements went off, and I was like, I think this is, like, for real. Like, I think this, like, really happened. And they're like, fuck you, Joe. You're full of shit.
Really? They didn't believe you? They didn't
No!
know.
Fuck, nobody believed me. And then, like, maybe, I think not the next class, but the class after that, everyone's like, oh my god, do you believe what happened? And I'm like, yeah. I watched the second plane hit.
I was playing Diablo 2 online all day. Like, I was done with high school. Like, I was done.
I probably should have been done. I think I did 5 years. No, I did 4 years, but I did.
You were a grade behind me, I think.
Does night school and summer school count? Because then I had like 6 years in high school. I'm just kidding. I only did 4, but I did night school and summer school
I did 4 years in high school.
Every fucking summer and every night school class that I was available, I had to take.
Dude, I was on the internet all day. Like, literally, I played Diablo 2 online. It's like a massive multiplayer online, you know, where you go around, you know. And, like, I was talking to people online, I was just like, oh, shit, you gotta see what happened. Like, half the people didn't even know it happened.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh, shut the fuck up, we don't believe you, blah, blah. Then the other half were like, fucking Tallahassee, I want to kill them all, fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Bomb fucking Middle East.
It's It's amazing how fast that happens. And, like, everybody was like, oh, yeah, America first, blah, blah, blah. And now it's... I don't know, man.
Oh, a bunch of fucking degenerate retards.
Yeah.
America's an awful place.
It was, the world's terrible. It's the man.
There is no man. It's a bunch of fucking...
Are you kidding me? We are the man, carrying around goddamn spy devices everywhere. Where's the beef?
These kind of people never ask, where's the beef?
I don't think there's anybody there.
She's talking to the man. She's like, where's the beef?
Cheeseburgers to go. Ronald McDonald and Hamburglar.
Rubble, cheeseburgers.
Do you remember Daffy Dan's?
Yes.
Do you remember what happened to Daffy Dan?
I don't remember.
Daffy Dan had a cocaine problem.
That doesn't surprise me one bit.
Not even a little bit. Because I
Like-
remember his commercials, and I'm like, that dude's a burnout for sure. I was like maybe 10, 11 when I seen him. Yeah, Daffy
I
Dan.
remember a store, like,
Yeah, there was a store right across from Jet's Pizza up on, I want to say Pearl.
there was one in North Olmsted.
There used to be a shitload of them. And then
Yeah.
he fucking, cutting lines and fucking
Dude, that
blowing
guy was
rails.
Like total fucking... Daffy Dan's insane morning show.
To have a show like that and then to fucking blow it, like, to always bring up Opie and Anthony, which is the inspiration for me even having gotten off my ass finally to get the equipment together and then getting the people together to actually have a podcast. As shitty as it might be, Opie and Anthony will always and forever be something I refer back to because they did it and they made it sound effortless. They both got fired at separate times for very silly things. Anthony got fired for a tweet that was deemed to be inciting people to violence or some crazy shit they used as an out to fire him off of Sirius XM radio. And mostly he got fired because his co-worker, Opie, didn't go to bat for him and say, well, without him, I'm walking too, and you're breaching contracts, so we're going to sue you for millions of dollars. Opie was content to go on because Opie became increasingly narcissistic and isolated.
Did he have a drug problem?
I don't know if he had a drug problem. I think he just was fucked up because he alluded to his mother being a mental patient.
He was going to have a break.
Yeah, so Opie got fired for violating someone's civil rights. He videotaped somebody that worked for him in the bathroom stall while he was taking a shit.
I think I heard a little bit about that.
There's a little bit out there about it, but long story short, Anthony Cumia, who got fired for the tweet, started up CompoundMedia.com. Compound Media is basically a studio that Anthony built in his house that has a green screen and all that shit, and he has like different shows with people he pays, kind of like Sirius, or even kind of like terrestrial radio. Whereas Opie has faded into obscurity. And having gone from being millionaires that they just walked in and talked in front of microphones. I mean, can you imagine an easier gig?
No, they get the best jobs.
Like, let me show up 5 days of the week to sit in front of a microphone for, 4 hours? If you were phenomenally good, you would get a 4-hour show. Like, Howard Stern was on for, 3 hours? How long was the show? And that's not including commercials, so they talk for maybe an hour. If it's a 3-hour show, you talk for maybe an hour, hour and a half tops. Because you have to get all that fucking commercial time in.
I used to listen to a lot of Art Bell and Coast to Coast AM. Fucking, late night, fucking spooky, weird shit.
I never listened to him.
That stuff's great, man. He's a radio legend.
I was always busy listening to O&A.
O&A.
Yeah, Opie and Anthony. They used to do a bit every October, every day of October that they were on the radio. They would do a separate radio show. They would call it Jacktobering.
Jacktober.
So there's an online community that followed the Opie and Anthony show religiously, and they were called the Pests, the Army of Pests, or the Pest Army. And what they would do is, as the show was being Jacktober, Opie and Anthony would go, okay, on today's Jacktober, featuring the hot tub, with Jay, Mary, and Joe at 97.5 Kiss FM in Walker, Texas. I don't even know if there's a Walker, Texas. But the Pests would immediately...
Walker, Texas Ranger.
There we go. See? The fucking spinning back crescent kick. Yeah.
Norris, man.
His spinning back crescent kick is...
and those jeans, how he does it in those jeans.
I think R. Kelly wrote a song about it.
He had his own special karate jeans in the 70s, I think. Like, they used to sell, because, after Bruce Lee got popular, Kung Fu was really popular.
Yeah.
Just, fucking ass-kicking jeans, Jeans, bell-bottom jeans that just meant for fucking karate kicks.
Or it could just
Bell-bottom
be...
jeans were the fucking worst. I remember riding a bike and...
Oh, yeah.
getting stuck in the chain and then having to take my pants off.
Fuck anything without a chain guard or getting anything caught in a chain. There's a kid, and I couldn't help but stop and help him. No, stop. Take your shoe off. Yeah. Now, tie your shoes. Okay, now ride your bike. Are you fucking retarded? There's a bunch of fucking moving parts here. But, bell bottoms probably look sweet if everybody was on acid. You know what I mean? I think that was everybody. Everybody that dropped acid was like, yeah, I'm on board with these.
Everything had its time. Everything fit in an era.
Yeah.
Things change.
Junction, junction, what's your function? He likes it. I like it.
I think we're at the 1 hour mark. We are. We're 3 minutes over the 1 hour mark. So, wrapping up, voting doesn't matter. So, get out and vote. If you get a chance to, look up Will Arnett. Will Arnett doing the, I think it's on David Letterman. Will Arnett does the Law and Order theme song, air guitar. I mean, it's great. He even does a synthesizer, too. It's actually really great. But until next time, everybody.